While Canada's healthcare system may not be making headlines on the campaign trail, the need for doctors in our country, it remains dire. We know that, right? An estimated 6.5 million people do not have a family doctor. However, the Canadian Medical Association says a window of opportunity has opened to fast-track American doctors into our system. The president of the Canadian Medical Association, Dr. Joss Reimer, joins us this morning. Good morning to you, Doctor.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
It's good to have you. So the federal leaders debate taking place over the next 2 nights. One key item, though, that we noticed was not on the agenda is health care. Are you surprised?
Yeah, we were surprised and disappointed to see that healthcare wasn't one of the topics that was chosen, because we've seen in polls like the Abacus poll that it's in the top 3 issues that Canadians want to hear about at the debates and from the federal leaders. And so we know that it's important to Canadians. We've also seen just in our lives how important it is to Canadians. When, as you said, there's 6.5 million Canadians who don't have a family doctor. This is affecting all of us or people that we love. And so whether or not it's an official topic for the debate tonight, we're really calling on all of the leaders to bring it into their discussions and tell Canadians how they're going to help make healthcare stronger in Canada.
Have you heard from any Canadian doctors who are currently practicing in the U.S. and are looking to come back to Canada?
Well, we know the Medical Council of Canada has seen about a 600% increase in physicians in the U.S. signing up for their portal for physicians interested in coming to Canada. So the interest is absolutely there. I'm having physicians reach out to me on social media asking, how do I get to come to Canada? We know that there are physicians wanting to come, and we really want to take advantage of that moment, because we don't want these physicians who come from similar training, a similar but not identical culture, often the same language background, going to another country when they might be interested in participating in our healthcare system and making a big impact on those 6.5 million Canadians who don't have a family doctor.
Let's talk about American doctors wanting to move and practice in Canada. What incentive is there? What's in it for them here?
Well, we always talk about money, and it's true that in the U.S. you can, not all the time, but some specialties make more money in the U.S. But there's a lot of downsides as well. So in Canada, you don't have to fight with insurance companies to make decisions about what's best for your patient. You really get to make those medical decisions on the basis of your patient's best interest. Likewise, we're seeing a lot of political interference in the U.S. into medical practice. And in Canada, for the most part, you again don't have a lot of political interference. You get to make those decisions together with your patient. And that is huge. We see a lot of moral distress when physicians aren't able to provide what they believe is best for their patient. We also know that in Canada, while we have a lot of paperwork, far too much, it's even higher in the US, because they have so many different funders for healthcare that they need to go through different forms, different approval processes, and so they spend a lot of their time doing paperwork. And the last thing I would say in Canada is that we don't get sued very often here in Canada, so that's a big advantage as well. A lot less stress on physicians when you're not having to constantly think about the risks of a lawsuit. So we have a lot to work on in our health system in Canada, lots of improvements that are needed, but lots of advantages that we can offer over the US as well.
Doctors who want to leave the U.S. in theory can choose anywhere to relocate. What are some of the areas of Canada that you think really need to attract those doctors?
Well, it's clear that we're seeing the biggest gaps in rural and remote areas. And so, I've heard stories of doctors in rural settings in the U.S. who are interested in still practicing rural medicine, and that's exactly who we'd like to attract. Because rural settings, I grew up in a rural family physician household. It's a wonderful career, really rewarding, but when you don't have enough physicians to go around, also very stressful. And so this idea we could bring in doctors who are already experienced in rural medicine into our system would be a big win for Canadians.
Dr. Reimer, we appreciate your time. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
If you like that video, make sure to subscribe to the Your Morning YouTube feed, where you can find all kinds of new content posted every weekday morning.